Don't go wrong, Jennifer. You made a lot of mistakes when you did yours.
Today we're going to be talking about high school drug tests and a specific drug called creatine. Creatine is a natural supplement that acts like a steroid for a person that is taking it. It's going to enhance your muscle growth and your performance on the field. Creatine is not supposed to be taken for an athlete that is under the age of 18. Can harm many major organs, and it could also make your muscles grow so fast that your bone growth is going to stop, which will make you short. High school athletic directors do not notice this and are not distributing the mandatory drug test that should be distributed every year before their sport season begins. There is a law in place that makes it optional for a high school athletic director to distribute these drug tests, but obviously they're not taking that in action, the high school athletic directors that would do. Okay. Creatine use has got to make, obviously, your muscles bigger, like I said. And like I said, there's problems that has got to be caused in the future with your major organs. They could be hurt because when you're under the age of 18, your organs are still growing inside of you, and it will stop that growth in the future. You could have major problems with that. There was a study done in Westchester County in New York. Their high school did a study on the amount of creatine that their athletes were using, and it showed that 5.5% of the athletes from grades 6 through 12 were using creatine, but also they took into account just their senior class, and that was 44% of their seniors were using creatine. That's boys and girls. And they also saw that on every sport team there was at least one person taking creatine. So that would be from boys and girls sport teams. This is an issue that should be taken very seriously, obviously, and there was also want to take into account another study that was done in North Carolina. This study was a questionnaire that was given to every single athlete in all of the schools, and it showed that 66% of the athletes checked off positive to be taking some type of drug, including creatine, and this was given back to the high school athletic directors, which they obviously didn't do anything about. So as you can see, the high school athletic directors, they're seeing what's bad being taking place, but they're not doing anything about it, which needs to change. The people that this is affecting is obviously the athletes, and for some reason athletic directors are supposed to care about their athletes, but they're not caring about them to the drug use of what they're taking. There is talk that the government will pass a bill to make these drug tests mandatory for every sport athlete before their sport season begins, but right now it's very iffy and they're not saying anything much about it. There is one place in the world, there's one country in the world, that Ireland, that actually does have drug tests mandatory, and they've seen great improvements. They have actually found drugs that their athletes were taking over there that they've never even seen before. And most of the drugs was cross-country runners to make their legs stronger and to endurance their heart and stamina. But that is one place in the country that drug tests are mandatory, and it is working out in a positive way for them. Results of drug tests becoming more, drug tests to become mandatory will be obviously, it would be a positive step in the future. The 66% of athletes that the North Carolina study will go way down, because the athletes will know that they can't take these drugs, otherwise they're not going to be able to play their sport. Also, for the people that do not take creatine and work as hard as them in the gym, everyone will be equal. So be a more equal choice on the field, and it would just be a better America in all of athletics. Just in conclusion here, creatine is obviously not a good drug and is illegal for an athlete 18 or younger to be taking. And as you can see from this speech, that athletic directors are just not taking the role of making them mandatory, as there is a law that they can distribute them, but they are not distributing them, and they should be. So that's about it. Any questions? Okay, thank you.